weird, strange is it to be this deep into the tournament and preparing for a team you've played twice already this season and know so well?
Well, you know, with having as many teams in our league, having a type of year, I've always thought about it's just the next game, you know. And it's been a month or so since we last played Kentucky, and I think it'd be different if it was a week ago, maybe in the tournament, a week and a half ago. But it is what it is, and this time of year, it doesn't matter. If you're playing right now, obviously you're on a pretty good roll. I'm sure guys are, you know, excited, confident. So whether it's Kentucky or whoever, we just got to be ready to play.
You really have no choice, Coach, obviously in the matter. But would you rather this time of year play a team that you're very familiar with, or really don't know a whole lot at all?
It doesn't matter to me. It doesn't matter. I mean, I just know how hard we knew we had to get ready to play Wofford, then the winner of the UCLA-Utah State game, and it's no different this week. I mean, it's the next game up on your schedule, and you've got to be ready to go.
How important is what Lamont Butler does defensively?
He's a terrific player. You know, I love the way he played, and you know, he's obviously been there before. He knows what it's like this time of year to play basketball, and but he brings a really good defensive element to him, and he knows what he's doing on the offensive end. Physicality, he brings physicality.
Is there anything you think Igor did in the 2 meetings against Kentucky previously that he did so well in, or is it just kind of how it worked out?
I thought Igor played well, and I thought he played well the other night. You know, he got back, he had 7 rebounds and did a lot of good things with the ball. And but right now, whether it's Igor, whoever, they've got to be ready to play. It's, you know, we talked about this time of year what it's all about, but Igor did play well. I thought both times, and we need him to do it that and more.
Coach, you guys were one of the best defensive teams in the country against defending the three-point line. Kentucky had a lot of success in both games. What led to that?
Well, again, I think you give them credit. We you know, they made the shots. I mean, there's no question, and they're a team that's capable of making tough shots. But we did have some breakdowns that let them get going, and I think a team like that you know, they can shoot it. You give them just a little bit of space, let them get their rhythm. It doesn't take much for them to have a great night against you.
Significant was what your front court gave you defensively and rebounding against UCLA?
Well, again, we've played our best basketball. It's when we've got a complete effort, not only from our guards, but with our front line. And this time of year, if you're going to win and move, you got to have everybody. It can't be a one-sided from your own attack, and we just need that consistency from here on out.
How big was it to get 20 from those 3 forwards in terms of rebounds against UCLA?
Huge, and that was a major emphasis going in, because you know, you go back and when we've been pounded on the boards, it's really hurt us, obviously, and it would hurt anybody. I mean, we talk about it all the time. You know, the game going on within a game, that you know, whether it's trying to get some of your misses, but you can't be a good defensive team if you don't finish it and rebound the ball and allow your offense to get out and maybe get some easy baskets.
There's a lot of talk about transfer portal date. Just what's your take on that during the tournament?
It is what it is. I mean, that's the rules they put in play. It is what it is. You know, we have to live within it and do what we do. And again, I'm thankful that we have a coaching staff that's been on top of it. And you know, it's different because, you know, we're still in the tournament, but yet still recruiting as if we weren't. And but I don't think we're any different than any of the other teams that's still playing.
How impressive is it to watch Kim Caldwell make a Sweet 16 in her first year as a D1 head coach?
You know, it's awesome. I mean, you know, from the time that she's walked on this campus, she's made a tremendous impact. You know, I go back to, you know, a year ago when we started with you know, the Big Orange Caravans, that you know, you knew she was confident in what she was doing, her style. She knew that she believed in that. And I look back and I really admire Danny White and his staff for making a hire. I mean, people probably said who, what, but she's got all that quiet real quick. And but if you knew how hard our women's team, and I watched it all through this, you know, the summer and fall, I'm not the least bit surprised. And what she's got going, she's only going to continue to build on it. And I hope this team continues to go, because again, we've watched them personal and up close, how hard they work every day, and it's neat watching their success.
you ever had two different players be finalists for Defensive Player of the Year, and who would you vote for between Zakai and Jemai?
You know what? I have. I don't think I have, but if I had a vote, I'd vote for both of them, and simply because they both go about it a different way. You got one guy that is having a matchup every night with normally the other team's best player. Then you got a guy like Zakai who's playing 94 feet and getting ball screened every time he turns around. So it's two different ways and that you look at it, but it's really a compliment to both of them. And the fact is, I'd vote for both of them. And I guess on a national level, they both get to have a vote. But I think they both are more than deserving of it.
Chaz been at his best the last couple of weeks, really since the postseason.
I think he's continued to get better. I think he's, and you would expect that. I mean, because of, if you, again, you know him, how he goes about his business, and he went through a learning year, what is arguably the greatest college basketball league ever, and against physical guys, terrific coaches, players that know how to guard people, how to change things up, and he had to learn it on the run, and he's done that, and he's just gotten so much better, and I think that, he's just, in terms of his own future career, I think he's just getting started to what he's going to be.
What about Chaz's personality allows him to elevate when it matters most?
I think he said it best the other day, and I think this. He said he's grounded. Every time you hear him talk, he gives glory to God. He said, "That's my foundation. That's my rock," and I think that that's true. I think that he realizes that God has put him here at this time to glorify God, and that means to do everything he possibly can to prepare himself mentally, emotionally, to do everything that he can possibly do to get ready to go out and try to play the best basketball he can. And I don't think he's laying around worrying about, am I going to make a shot? I think he's just thinking about his preparation, what he needs to do. And that's not just offensively. He's gotten so much better on the defensive end, and he's just improved in every facet of his game. But his personality, he hasn't changed. I mean, he came in here very unselfish, wanted to be part of a team, wanted to be part of a program, and he's done more than his part to come in and not just help us, but make our program better.
Coach, you guys get up there tomorrow. Stage is going to be huge, bright lights, and everything. How beneficial is it to have a bunch of guys that it's not going to be new to when you get there tomorrow?
I think that's important. I do. I think it's important. I think it's obviously Zakai and Jemai and Jordan. Cade got a taste of it last year, and JP a little bit, even though he's not playing. I think it's so important, and I think the carryover going forward is so important for those guys, because those guys are going to a new role. But I don't think there's any question you want guys that have been there and understand what you have to do mentally to focus on getting ready to do your job.
As much talk about this league this year, how good it's been, what kind of validation is it, do you think, to get 7 into the Sweet 16 for the SEC?
Well, again, I think it is. I mean, you talk about it, and almost have half of them, and half our league there. I think it speaks volumes of the kind of year that we've had. And obviously, when you have more teams in, you got a chance to lose more games, and I'm sure people early were probably taking shots at the league. I would assume. I don't read it, but I would assume that's what was being said. But the fact is, we've got 7 in, and again, I look at our league and appreciate it, because I know we all would say what we know that we had to go through all year to get to this point. But again, I'm proud of it, because I know where we were 10 years ago. I mean, I was in that room when, the commissioners made the comment, he wanted to see basketball become like, I think he said women's softball at the time. I think we had a bunch that year in softball, and he said he'd like to see a day when we got double digits, because I think we were coming off a year where there was maybe, 2 or 3 teams that were in the tournament, and to get where we are today, it's taken a while to get here, but it's been good.
Rodney Terry got let go at Texas. Have you had a chance to talk to him, and how much has he meant to you in your career?
Yeah, I had. I talked to him obviously before he had heard, and he was hoping to have a chance to to talk about it with Chris Del Conte and see if there was a way moving forward. But after it happened, I talked to him the day before. I called him back after I'd gotten the news, and before I could even say anything, he said, "Coach, I'm good." He said, "I know God's got a plan for me." He said, "He brought me here. He's got something planned." And I think he's just in a good place from him as a person. But Rodney was a part of that program as an assistant head coach for 11 or 12 years, and obviously was there when we had some good runs. And Rodney's a good man. Again, I thought the staff did a good job with their team, and but he'll be fine whatever he decides to do. And I think he's already had opportunities that maybe he passed on. I love Rodney, and again, it made me feel, it warmed my heart when I heard him say what he said about that God had a plan for him, because I believe that. I think he's got a plan for all of us. I think he's sovereign. I don't think his sovereignty is ever lost. And so he'll put him where he wants him to be.
Thanks, Coach.
All right, thank you guys.